The worst part? It wasn't the Christmas pudding on fire. It wasn't my nan yelling, "Who are both these boys?" It was the moment both my best friends reached for my hand at the same time, in front of my entire extended family, while Mariah Carey screamed in the background. Yeah, this was supposed to be a quiet Christmas. Hey, before this gets messier than cranberry sauce on a white jumper, tap like and subscribe if you love messy BL, best friends to lovers chaos, and Christmas stories that absolutely spiral. Trust me, you'll want to stay for this. My name's Alfie Rowan, I'm 17, painfully British, and emotionally unprepared for what happens when you invite your two best mates to a Christmas family reunion. I thought I was being nice. Turns out, I was being delusional. First, there's Benedict Ben Hawthorne. Loud. Sarcastic, the type who insults you lovingly and steals your chips without asking. He's the boy who laughs too hard, stands too close, and pretends everything's a joke, except when it really matters. Then there's Julian Mercer. Quiet, observant, the kind of boy who remembers how you take your tea and notices when you're not okay. He doesn't say much, but when he looks at you, it feels like he already knows everything. My parents decided this year's Christmas would be a full-scale family reunion. Aunties, uncles, cousins I barely recognize. So when Mom said, "Invite a friend so you're not bored," I panicked and invited both Ben and Julian because they're my best friends. What could possibly go wrong? They arrived on the same train, same platform, same second. Ben jumped into my arms like we were in a rom-com. Julian smiled softly and said, "Your house smells like cinnamon." Mom took one look at them and whispered, "Which one's your boyfriend?" I choked on air. "Neither," I said. Both boys answered, "Yeah," at the same time. Why did that sting? I felt my brain short-circuit. Then came the sleeping arrangements. One guest room, one double bed, and my mom saying, "They're boys, they'll manage." I stared at the bed. Ben laughed. Julian quietly panicked. I considered sleeping in the bath. That night I lay awake between them. Ben's foot touched mine. Julian's shoulder brushed my arm. No one moved, no one laughed, and somehow, everything felt different. Christmas morning arrived with shouting, wrapping paper explosions, and my nan yelling about Jesus. Ben wore my jumper without asking. Julian helped my mom cook. Both fit into my life way too perfectly. My cousin leaned over and whispered, "So, are you collecting boyfriends now?" I laughed, too loudly. Ben raised an eyebrow. Julian looked away. Uh-oh. Later, Ben nudged me and said, "Didn't know you and Julian were playing house." I joked back. But his smile didn't reach his eyes. That was new. Julian suddenly became distant, polite, quiet, like he was giving me space I never asked for. And somehow, that hurt more than I expected. I realized something terrifying. I didn't want to choose who stayed close. I wanted both. Game night sealed my fate. Truth or Dare, Christmas edition. Someone dared Ben to admit who he fancied most in the room. He looked straight at me. Julian didn't laugh. He stood up and said he needed air. And that's when I knew this wasn't one-sided. I followed Julian outside. He opened his mouth to say something, and Ben appeared behind us. Perfect timing, or the worst. Silence stretched. Then Ben said, "Okay, this is awkward." Julian whispered, "Alfie, I think I like you." My heart nearly exploded. I didn't know what to say, because the truth was, I liked them both. And Christmas suddenly felt way too honest. Before I could answer, the back door flew open. My mom shouted, "Boys, family photo, now!" Saved by chaos, or doomed by it. I walked back inside with two boys who both wanted me, and a family who was about to notice everything. And this? This was only Christmas Eve. Family photos are meant to be wholesome. Ours felt like a psychological experiment. Ben stood on my left, Julian on my right. My nan squinted and said, "Why do they both look like they're in love with you?" I laughed. No one else did. Ben casually slipped his arm around my shoulder. "Relax," he whispered. "It's just for the photo." Julian's jaw tightened. So yeah, definitely just for the photo. Julian didn't say a word. Instead, he gently adjusted my scarf. Slow, careful, intimate. It felt louder than any joke Ben could make. The second the photo was done, my aunt cornered me. "So," she said, sipping wine, "are you dating both of them, or is this some modern thing I missed?" I pretended to choke on a mince pie. I fled to the kitchen where Julian was helping Mum again. He smiled when he saw me. A small one, a hopeful one. Ben followed a second later. Brilliant. 3 boys, 1 kettle. 0 emotional regulation, Ben teased. Julian went quiet. I stood between them like Switzerland with anxiety. Julian cleared his throat. Ben, can I talk to Alfie alone for a sec? Ben raised an eyebrow, then smiled. That dangerous smile. Sure, he said. I'll wait. Oh no. Julian led me to the hallway. I don't want to fight, he said softly. But I don't want to disappear either. My heart twisted. He wasn't asking me to choose. He was asking to be seen. Ben absolutely overheard. He leaned against the wall and said, "For the record, I'm not disappearing either." Why were they both being mature? That somehow made this harder. The air changed. No jokes, no pretending. Just 3 boys realizing this wasn't a crush problem. It was a feelings problem. Then my family burst into carols singing. Loud, off-key, aggressive. Nothing kills emotional tension like your uncle yelling, "Deck the halls." Honestly, if you're enjoying this Christmas chaos so far, tap like and subscribe because, trust me, it gets messier, warmer, and way more honest from here. Later that night, we cleaned up together. Ben made jokes. Julian dried dishes. I realized how naturally we moved, like we'd done this for years, because we had. When Julian stepped away, Ben leaned in. "I joke a lot," he said quietly, "but I'm serious about you." No sarcasm, no smirk, just honesty. My chest felt too full. "I care about both of you," I admitted, and saying it out loud didn't feel wrong. It felt terrifying and true. Julian came back just in time to hear the last part. He froze. I braced for disaster. Instead of anger, Julian exhaled. "Okay," he said. "Then we talk about it." I blinked. Was this healthy communication? We sat at the table like diplomats. No labels, no decisions, just honesty, nervous laughter, and the weird comfort of being real. That night, the house finally went quiet. Snow tapped the windows. Lights glowed softly. And for the first time, I didn't feel like I was doing something wrong. We climbed into bed again. This time, no tension, just warmth. Ben sighed contentedly. Julian whispered, "Night, Alfie." I smiled into the dark. I didn't want this moment to end. Not because it was dramatic, but because it felt like something honest was beginning. Christmas Day was hours away. And somehow, I knew everything would change by morning. Christmas morning hit like a polite slap to the face. I woke up wedged between 2 boys, one arm numb, the other warm. Ben was drooling slightly. Julian looked peaceful. I thought, yeah, this is happening. Ben woke first. "Wow," he muttered. "This is either the best Christmas ever or the start of a very awkward breakfast." Julian blinked awake. "I vote best," he said quietly. My heart nearly melted into the mattress. We didn't rush anything. No speeches, no panic, just one simple rule. Honesty first. And somehow, that felt more solid than anything else. We walked downstairs together, not holding hands, not hiding either. My mom watched us carefully, then smiled. Parents know. They always know. Breakfast was brutal. My nan squinted. My cousin whispered, "Called it." My uncle just nodded like he'd cracked a code. Ben whispered, "We're being analyzed." Julian whispered back, "Stay calm." When an aunt finally asked, "So, what exactly is going on?" Ben smiled and said, "We make Alfie very happy." Julian nodded, I froze, and then smiled. My nan sniffed. "Well," she said, "as long as you're loved properly." Then she handed Julian more roast potatoes. I almost cried into my gravy. After lunch, we escaped outside. Snow crunching, cold air, peace. Julian looked at me. Ben looked at me. I realized something important. I didn't feel torn anymore. "I don't want to choose between you," I said. "I want to choose you both." Silence. Then Ben laughed softly. Julian exhaled in relief. Julian spoke first. "As long as we communicate," he said, "and no one feels pushed aside." Ben nodded. "Yeah, team effort." My chest felt light for the first time all weekend. Ben stepped closer. "May I?" he asked, half joking, half serious. I nodded. The kiss was warm, confident, slightly clumsy, very Ben. Julian waited, then gently cupped my face and kissed me, slow, careful, full of meaning. Completely different, just as perfect. Ben laughed quietly. "Well," he said, "Merry Christmas to us." I laughed too, because yeah, it really was. We walked back inside together. This time I reached for both their hands. No hiding, no fear, just warmth. No one screamed, no one lectured. My mom just smiled wider. Sometimes, acceptance isn't loud, it's gentle. That evening we sat by the fire, Ben's head on my shoulder, Julian's hand in mine. It felt normal, and that's how I knew it was right. Ben yawned. "So?" he said. "Same bed tonight?" Julian smirked. "I think we've established precedent." I groaned. They laughed. Later, alone for a moment, I realized something. I wasn't scared anymore. Not of judgment, not of loving honestly. We fell asleep talking about nothing. School, movies, life. Love didn't feel dramatic anymore. It felt steady. Christmas didn't give me answers. It gave me courage. And two boys who chose me, just as much as I chose them. The last morning, my mom took one more photo. This time, no awkwardness. Just three boys smiling like they belonged. Because we did. Love doesn't always fit neat boxes. Sometimes it looks like honesty, respect, and a bit of Christmas chaos. I went into Christmas scared of losing my best friends. I came out realizing they were becoming something more, together. If this story made you smile, laugh, or feel a little warm inside, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who loves cozy, chaotic BL stories like this. Thanks for spending Christmas with us.